Paul Simon's You Can Call Me Al hit the airwaves in 1986, instantly recognizable for its quirky music video with Chevy Chase, that unforgettable bass riff, and Simon's wry sense of humor. But the song wasn't just a throwaway pop moment, it was born out of Graceland, an album that drew global attention for blending South African rhythms with Simon's songwriting. Beneath the playful surface, Simon wrestles with the questions of aging, purpose, and how a man sees himself when the mirror doesn't quite match the spirit inside. It's part satire, part self-reflection, and it's still one of the most curious hits of the 1980s. I'm Sean, and this is A Closer Listen. By the mid-1980s, Paul Simon's career was in a lull. His 1983 album, Hearts and Bones, barely made a dent commercially despite flashes of brilliance, leaving Simon searching for new direction. The record often has been speculated to draw from his turbulent relationship with actress Carrie Fisher, whom he married briefly, though Simon himself never confirmed it. Still, the album's intimate tone reflected a personal crossroads. That search for renewal soon took him far from New York and into South Africa, where he began collaborating with local musicians. The decision stirred controversy. Simon was accused of breaking the United Nations cultural boycott of apartheid-era South Africa. He defended the move by insisting he wasn't there to support the government or apartheid, but simply to work with musicians, framing the project as an artistic partnership rather than a political act. The resulting album, Graceland, released in 1986, redefined his career and spotlighted a global sound that most Western audiences had never encountered before. And tucked inside of Graceland is one of Simon's quirkiest yet layered tracks, You Can Call Me Al. At first listen, You Can Call Me Al feels almost nonsensical, filled with playful characters and oddball lines. But tucked into the humor are traces of Paul Simon reflecting on identity and aging. The narrator wonders aloud if he's losing his youth, if he still has purpose, and if he can still make sense of his own restlessness. The Man Walks Down the Street refrain becomes almost like an inner monologue, looping through insecurity and self-questioning. Take the famous line, "If you'll be my bodyguard, I can be your long-lost pal." On the surface, it's silly, but it also carries warmth. It suggests a give and take, one person offering protection and the other offering friendship. A simple exchange that is both absurd and oddly comforting. Like much of the song, it works in layers, balancing lighthearted wordplay with subtle vulnerability. And then there's the playful detail of Al and Betty. I can call you Betty, Betty when you call me, you can call me Al. That comes from a party where French composer Pierre Boulez accidentally called Paul Al and his then-wife Peggy Betty. Simon tucked the misnaming into the song, turning a throwaway moment into one of his most memorable quirks. Musically, the track mirrors this duality. It feels like a party, breezy horns, layered percussion, and those irresistible rhythms borrowed from Simon's time in South Africa. And then there's the bass solo. Played by Bigidi Khumalo, it's instantly iconic. What makes it unforgettable is the trick at the end. The second half of the bass solo is the first half played backwards, giving it an unworldly yet perfectly seamless feel. It's quirky, inventive, and the kind of music detail that cements You Can Call Me Al as more than just a pop hit. It's a song full of surprises. For many fans, You Can Call Me Al is inseparable from its music video. A simple one-room setup with Paul Simon sitting beside actor Chevy Chase. At first, Simon appears ready to sing, but instead, Chevy takes over the lead vocal, lip-syncing with exaggerated gestures and comic flair. The joke is immediate. Chevy's oversized presence fills the frame, while Simon sits quietly, staring straight ahead, only chiming in here and there. The comedy works on contrasts. Chevy is tall, broad, and animated. Simon is smaller, stoic, and restrained. The visual gag exaggerates their differences, but also makes the odd couple worth watching. For some viewers, the resemblance between the two only added to the humor, as if the video were an inside joke about Simon being mistaken for Chase, despite the height difference being impossible to miss. What makes the video so effective is its simplicity. There's no flashy set, no big production, just two men in chairs. Yet it became one of the most memorable videos of the 1980s, perfectly in sync with MTV's rise. You Can Call Me Al works on two levels. It's irresistibly funny, thanks in no small part to Chevy Chase's deadpan performance. But it's also one of Paul Simon's most thoughtful reflections on aging, identity, and the need for connection. Maybe that's why the song endures. It makes us laugh, it makes us think, and it makes us want to hit replay. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up, It helps more people discover the channel. And if you're new here, subscribe so you don't miss another closer listen. And as always, be in the moment.